Hello, SBL fans out there. Welcome back. I'm Trader Josh, and I'll be bringing you my Week 2, Season 3 SBL Team Builder versus Dom and the Golden State War totals. And for the viewer's pleasure, I do have his team on the side because, convenience is convenient. So I'll go over my team as well, but first let me go over his team of disgusting Pokemon known as Offensive Stall, really. Anyways, his team consists of Megalopony, which is his Mega. I put it on the bottom for everyone to see. His Raikou, his Dragonite, his Blissey, Vaporeon, and Cresselia. The most beautiful, precious, divine Walcore you'll ever meet. His Magneton, his Gramble, his Tangrowth, and then his NU picks consist of Claydol, Miss Magus, and Xatu. So yeah, it's pretty bulky, especially his UU and RE picks with Tangrowth, Gramble, Blissey, Cresselia, and Vaporeon. Magneton pretty much being a non-bulky Pokemon, which can still be bulky, which annoys me a lot. So yeah, and I'll also go over my team for anybody out there that wants to know. Let's see if I can say my whole team without looking at the doc. Okay, my team consists of Garchomp, Sylveon, Manaphy, this is off the top of my head, Cobalion, what else is there? Shoot. Okay, yeah, I'm really bad at this. Okay, forget this. Yeah, I need to go to the doc. I have the memory of a peanut, so what I expect. I'm waiting for this to load really quick. Sorry about the wait. This is kind of stalling. Wink, wink. Okay. My team consists of Manaphy, Garchomp, Amoonguss, Sylveon, Mamoswine, Cobalion, Electros, Braviary, Mega Camerupt, Skuntank, Mesprit, and Carbink. And after this week, the only Pokemon that hasn't made its debut yet is Mamoswine, Cobalion, and Carbink, which is kind of cool. Only 3 Pokemon after only 2 weeks have not made their debut yet, as you see on my screen. And some of these Pokemon have ridiculous sets. Oh my gosh. Well, only one really. But I guess my Mega Camera set, Spoilers, has a pretty cool set as well. So it's been 2.5 minutes, give or take. So yeah, that was pretty weird, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I said that word really, really weird too. Yeah. Okay. My first Pokemon is my Duothlo, my Mesprit. It's basically a combination of 2 Flagellums as he has on his backside. That's my explanation for that Pokemon. Anyways, this Pokemon is basically meant for all of his physical attackers, such as his Lopunny, and if he doesn't have a Lumberry on his Dragonite, I can paralyze it. It also sets up my Stealth Rock. It's my Stealth Rock setter. It's also pretty much my guaranteed lead, because he will most likely lead with his Mega Lopunny, because most of the time you always do. I wanted to slap Ice Beam on this set for the Dragonite so it wouldn't set up on me, but especially if I had a Lumberry, he would be able to. But I needed U-Turn. I felt like U-Turn was definitely the better option, so I can pivot around Mega Lopunny or his Tangrowth for pretty much any of his Pokemon on his team, really. So I felt like U-Turn was definitely essential. I couldn't get rid of Thunder Wave because it was good for Mega Lopunny. And I want to have speed control against it so I can handle it with my Braviary potentially, or my Sylveon. So I was like, okay, Thunder Wave is important. I need Psychics for stab, and U-turn for pivot. So this is my last moveset. This is the moveset that went with me in the battle. Yeah, spoilers, battle already happened. Rip. So yeah, that was basically what I needed to do. It's basically here to pivot and be a physically defensive wall to potentially the Pokemon that pretty much destroys my entire team, especially since, as you'll see, my Amoonguss is not physically defensive. Anyways, which Pokemon should I go over first? Let's go over these 2 later on. Okay, yeah, I guess this is my next Pokemon I should go over. God damn it, I forgot to pause. Oh, man. No, wrong thing. Something else. Okay. Anyways, next time I need to click on pause when I click on the Pokemon. My next Pokemon is my Amoonguss, my Lose Memes, making its second straight appearance. First it went up against Silver and pretty much was one of the MVPs next to my Manaphy. This one is my Amoonguss with Clear Smog, Giga Drain, Spore, and Hidden Power Ground. Hidden Power Ground for the Magneton just in case. It can also hit the Raikou pretty hard, even though Giga Drain pretty much does the same amount, but not quite. because of 75 base power. So it also hits the Claydol pretty hard. It hits the Tangrowth pretty hard with just Clear Smog on its own. The only thing it can't really do too much to is obviously the Blissey, the Cresselia, and his Miss Maggie's. Because Miss Maggie's has a good special defense stat. On the Tangrowth. Having the Xatu, I cannot do too much to Xatu at all. And I would never stand against Xatu, because I have a pretty much dedicated switching, as you'll see later on. But yeah, this set is basically meant to be my special wall, basically to his Magneton and his Raikou, his Vaporeon, his potentially even Claydol. Yeah, Claydol, his Tangrowth. It basically walls a good amount of Pokemon, not to mention that the Pokemon that could do a lot to me, I could put to sleep, except as Xatu. I cannot put Xatu to sleep for many, many reasons, and that one reason being Magic Guard. Magic Guard being a great set to pretty much almost any single wall in the game, unless it's like an offensive wall, then it's not. So, or a wall that has super effective coverage for it, which I don't. So that's bad. But yeah, I can potentially put the Megalopin to sleep just in case it stays in and goes for like Return or Ice Punch. Even though Return does more, I'm pretty sure. And also, I can also put the Dragonite to sleep and live one hit. I can also put the Raikou to sleep if he doesn't go for Sub, which may I mention, Sub Combine Raikou destroys this team if I do not handle it correctly, which is why I have this next Pokemon I'm going to show you. But yeah, this Pokemon's main job is to handle with special walls, potentially put some Pokemon to sleep, because so far this season, I have not put a Pokemon to sleep. I didn't do it week 1, and I hope to do it week 2, so we'll see what happens. Anyways, my next Pokemon is going to be my Mega Camerupt, which you'll see right now. Okay, hopefully I nailed that pause pretty well. Anyways, my next Pokemon is my Mega Camerupt. 80 investment in HP, 252 max 252 investment in my base 75 special defense, which gets boosted up to over 100 once I Mega Evolve, and 176 special attack. 176 special attack is a 2-hit KO a Vaporeon after switching. Even though I would never stand against it, it's good to potentially 2-hit KO it, force it to go for Wish, go into my Amoonguss. I'm basically trying to play like Theorymon. Okay, maybe I can do this much damage to it on the switching. This Pokemon has Roar, Earth Power, Fire Blast, and Toxic. Toxic for a certain Pokemon known as Cresselia. And Toxic for even Blissey to force a switch, because I don't think it would be his Cleric. It wouldn't make any sense. His Cleric would definitely be the Vaporeon. It's basically here to wall his special attackers. Again, another special wall, but the reason for this one is because it can stop Calm Mind Raikou with Sub. My Amoonguss cannot do that because Clear Smog does not go through Sub, which is bad. And I also can roar out his potential Dragonite once it switches in, because I would not expect it to not click Dragon Dance against a Mega Camerupt, because Ancient Power will not do a lot, especially if his multi-skill is still up. But I would expect Stealth Rock to be up by the time it switches in, so that's a good thing as well. Fire Blast, because Fire Blast is going to do a lot to anything that doesn't resist, except for a Pokemon known as Blissey. Everything else will take a huge amount of damage. And Dragonite. Dragonite will not take a lot from it either, because, resist and all that. But even then, it will still do a good amount. Depends on its investments. But it'll hit the Gramble extremely hard. It'll hit even Miss Maggie's extremely hard. It'll hit Claydol extremely hard. Tangrowth, Megalop, Xatu, Cresselia, with Toxic, which may I mention. Magneton, Raikou. Yeah, this Pokemon's role is to stop Raikou from sweeping me, because it kind of sweeps me. So does Dragon Dance, Dragonite, but you'll see what I have for that. But it's basically my Camerupt. It's here to wall, especially wise. So I have 2 special walls, which may seem like a lot, but I kind of need it because he has a lot of special attackers. His only physical attacker is the Dragonite, the Gramble, and the Megalop, and potentially the Tangrowth and the Claydol. But that's pretty much it. 3 physical attackers isn't the most reliable thing in the world, especially Gramble being weak to a lot of stuff on my team. So I don't think he'll bring it. Anyways, my next Pokemon is going to be my 2 potential win conditions for this week, as you'll see right now. My first one being my Sylveon. I'm hoping I'm nailing these pauses. Okay, my K-Dog, which is actually it's an inside joke between me and my friends. K-Dog may seem like a pretty casual name because, it's a dog, and K, maybe like K to make it seem like a gangster, but no. This is actually an acronym for a battler we knew. His name was Kawhi Doge, and he was the gayest man you'd ever meet. But yeah, he was gay at battling. He got swept by a Golbat. Good times. But the acronym for this Pokemon is Kawaii Doge Always Wants Guys, or K-Dog for short. It was pretty creative. It was better than Click Hyper Voice because I needed a better name for this thing. And here you go. It's a permanent name for it. This Pokemon has Calm Mind, Wish, Heal Bell, and Hyper Voice No Protect because I'm thinking I don't need it. The only Pokemon I can potentially beat this thing on this team is a potential Dragonite with Dragon Dance. But after multi-skill is broken, Hyper Voice pretty much destroys it. Magneton, because I cannot touch Magneton, basically because it's Flash Cannon, will do a lot, and that's not good. Besides that, not a lot of Pokemon could stop this on his team. Maybe a potential Side Shot Calm Mind Zatsu alongside of me, but besides that, he doesn't have a lot to touch this. His really only options for super effective damage on this is Poison Jab, Tangrowth, and Flash Cannon Magneton. And that's pretty much it. So this Pokemon has a good opportunity of sweeping his team with Calm Mind, Wish, Hyper Voice. And before you say anything about Blissey, this is at +6, I do around 60 something percent to a max special defense Blissey with 4 HP, which is the standard spread. If he's like max special defense, max HP, then props to him. But you don't bring that. That's just terrible. That's an awful, awful, awful stat. You would not bring that. Because you need the physical investment, and that's just it. So basically, this thing's options are to possibly sweep his team with Calm Mind, especially if he doesn't have that Magneton. That makes my job easier. So the reason for not having Protect is because I don't need it, and I was originally gonna have enough speed to outspeed a Vaporeon, but shout out to Hunty, by the way. Hunter's infected. This guy helped me build this team. We spent 3 hours just like thinking about what we can do, and this was our final product. It's a great team. I can't wait for you to see my last Pokemon. Anyways, yeah, my Sylveon. We were thinking, okay, a potential Calm Mind Sylveon could easily win the game. Originally, we actually had Calm Mind Manaphy with only Skulls, and I was like, you know what? I don't like being absolutely walled by Vaporeon, so Sylveon is definitely the better option. So that was what we came up with. We have the max HP, max defense stat because we want to eat physical hits, and after a couple combines, we pretty much are max special defense. So that was my logic there. So that's basically what I felt like Sylveon was going to be able to do. Be a wall and then nuke with Hyper Voice. My next Pokemon, which is also my next set of Pokemon, is my Braviary, being the max HP, max special defense stat with 4 defense, because after a bulk up, it basically matches my special. It could basically be matched up with my special defense, and then I'd be pretty good to go. This Pokemon is Substitute, Bulk Up, Brave Bird, and Roost. This Pokemon cannot really touch Raikou or Magneton. In fact, Magneton 4 times resists my stab. But it's okay, because this Pokemon can beat the rest of his team besides that. Especially if I have enough bulk ups and he sends out his Dragonite, he will not be able to do much he won't be able to do much of anything to me. Is basically what I'm trying to say. And I have this spread so I can eat Psychics, Scalds, and Seismic Tosses from Blissey. So basically, all 3 of his walls could potentially not break my sub. Except for Ice Beam Cresselia. I figured Ice Beam Cresselia would be an option because I'm sure he sees how this Pokemon could beat his team. Because his physical attackers would not even be able to beat me. And his only Pokemon I can are special electric types. So if I can get rid of key threats such as his steel types, which I have pretty good options to, my Amoonguss and my Mega Camerupt, I should be good to go. So that was my logic here. Because when I was talking with Hunter, I was thinking, okay, here's my options to win. Because I'm not going to win defensive-wise because it would be a stall war that I would not win. Because my Heal Bell user only has 8 Heal Bells, and he has a Natural Cure Blissey and a potential Heal Bell Vaporeon. So I'm thinking, okay, here's the plan. The only way I'm going to win is if I set up a Pokemon on his face that he cannot beat. That is the only way I'm winning. So that was basically what I told him, because I figured he would bring all his walls, because all his walls are good, like Blissey, Vaporeon, and Blissey, Vaporeon, and Cresselia. You might as well have Scar and Bliss while you're at it. All he needs is a Skarmory, and I'd be absolutely fucked. So that was basically what I told Hunter. We need set up Pokemon, and we need it to beat his team, which is why I didn't want Scald 3, which is why I said Combine, Rest, Rain Dance, Scald, Manaphy would be bad because it doesn't hit one of his walls. And if I can't hit one of his walls, what's the point of bringing it? So, as a result, our 2 wall breakers are K-Dog and Murica, the Braviary. Both make it, no, well, not Sylveon. By the way, Sylveon's making its second straight debut, and Braviary making its first debut. I have a good amount of first debut Pokemon. Actually, I have 3 of them, and 3 returning Pokemon from week 1 being my Mega Cameruts, my Lose Memes, and my Sylveon. Anyways, let's get on to the Pokemon I've been waiting for this entire time. That is going to be my Skuntank. Now you may be looking at my Skuntank and you may be thinking this spread actually has a purpose. Every single spread you put in here has a purpose, and let me tell you, it does. You might be thinking, why do you have a negative special attack nature with 80 special attack? Well, that's because with 80 special attack, it basically gets rid of the drop with adamant nature. I didn't want any other nature. I didn't want to lower any of my defenses. I didn't want to lower my speed, because speed is kind of important, because I want to outspeed Cresselia. And I also want to outspeed potentially his what other Pokemon? That was pretty much it. And maybe Claydol. I can also potentially outspeed Claydol. Even though if he runs like a max speed Claydol, I would outspeed still. And that was pretty much my logic there. I want to outspeed his Cresselia basically because I have this magical move called Taunt, and after a Taunt, Cresselia cannot do anything unless he has HP Ground, which will not do a lot with this spread that I have. 132 special defense investment with 36 HP. Max attack, so my Pursuit and Crunches could do a lot. And with 80 special attack with this investment, I 2-hit KO even in Assault Vest Gramble. If he's defensive, I do a shit ton, and I would probably outspeed a defensive Gramble because Gramble doesn't have a lot of speed. Skuntank does as a wall, which is definitely great. So this Pokemon is such a cool Pokemon. It has such a cool role, and I'm absolutely in love with the set. It's like one of my favorite sets I've ever came up with, next to my Psych Up Duosion and the IACL to beat Crocoon. And I think this definitely knocked it out of the park. This is such a cool set. And its purpose is basically to trap his Xatu, his Mismagius, and his Cresselia. And it can also potentially handle his Claydol with a certain amount of damage Crunch would kill. And it also handles his Tangrowth, because with Poison Jab, let me explain why I don't have Poison Jab. Poison Jab because of Intimidate with Gramble, and Tangrowth has a massive defense stat. So I was thinking, what about if I run Sludge Bomb? If he's defensive Tangrowth, Sludge Bomb will do a lot. If he's Assault Vest Tangrowth, it'll still do a lot, even if he's max. And Gramble will get 2 killed by any form of Tangrowth. I mean, of any form of Gramble will get 2 killed. And Tangrowth, most forms have a good chance of being 2 killed by Sludge Bomb. So this set is such a cool set. I can't say how much I love this set. It's definitely one of my favorite sets I've ever came up with. And all of a sudden, this Pokemon actually does a lot of work versus his team. The only Pokemon this thing does not really do much well against is Blissey because of Seismic Toss. It'll be able to outstall me, because 4 Seismic Tosses would kill me. And it also beats his... It doesn't beat the Dragonite. It probably gets destroyed by an Earthquake. It doesn't really beat the Raikou. Doesn't really beat the Magneton. And it doesn't really beat the Megalop. But everything else I can definitely handle pretty well. Even the Vaporeon, because if I get burned, I can Heal Bell. Then with Taunt, I can avoid Wish and such. So, holy crap, we're about to enter 20 minutes. So, let me just wrap it up and say, this team, I like this team. I spent 3 hours, and if I lose, I'm going to be really, really salty. Because I've been really trying the SBL. I've been really thinking about everything that could possibly happen in the battles. So, I'm hoping this prep definitely comes through, because I'm really scared of Dom, and I'm hoping that the battle ends up being well. And hopefully my setup sweepers can sweep this team. That would be the most satisfying feeling in the world. So, yeah. That'll be it. We're about to enter the 20-minute mark. So, yeah, I'll see you in the battle. So, au revoir and peace.